the quality administration still sucks. People still find it very difficult to get the licenses to start a business in India and so on. So the country is growing because of its entrepreneurial energy, but not necessarily because the government and the bureaucracy is working. So as a result of which, I think people seek something like a newspaper to play and fill that role. So we egged them on to say, look, let's start at the city level. To say that, okay, let's say in Bangalore, transportation was virtually coming to a collapse. We said, look, why don't we organize a public debate on how to make the transportation better? Let's have panel discussions. Let's have people writing in.
This is an idea for the colleagues from the Netherlands.
And we made it like a 3 weeks of intensive activity, including, various things. We had a blogging site or a website where people would come in, share anecdotes of how much time sometimes take to go from point A to point B, and so on. So it started off with taking specific heartfelt issues, but making them much larger, doing some supportive advertising with the right tone around them, etc. That grew at the next stage to saying, for example, let's say in Delhi, overall, what will it take for Delhi to become a truly global city? Now, that was a very successful activity. India Poised was merely a build on that. We said, when we were on the 1st of January last year, we said, as we enter our 60th year, something new is happening. The world is suddenly beginning to see India differently. We are becoming more confident in our own minds. This is a time to assert, saying that this is a now or never moment for India. We must make this the year of India. So it was really through collaborative discussions that these things happen. It wasn't, and all of it had the ready buy-in, frankly. It wasn't even I can't even say that there was I had to manage the editorial people or whatever. When it broadly makes sense, it makes sense. And the Lead India program actually came as a it was vaguely there in the mind, but in India Poised, when we did this was actually a huge program where we got maybe 300,000-400,000 responses in various ways. And a lot of the responses were to talk about the fact that, yeah, we can do what we are, but for God's sake, we need better leaders. Whenever the subject of our government and bureaucracy and parliament would come along, people would say, have very dismissive things to say about them, particularly readers of the English press. Because what's happened in India is that the whole politics has got sort of, in our minds, at least the readers of English press feel, it's got hijacked by the relatively uneducated, caste-driven sections of society. So for our readers, they were feeling a leadership vacuum.
But there is a difference between launching a debate about quality of politics in my country and telling that if you will win my contest, I will support you in elections. It's a completely different thing.
But this was just an idea.
Haven't you go a little bit too far with this activism? Yeah. What if he wins the elections and he will be the prime minister and you will learn that he is, corrupted?
Yeah, see, marketing people in any case tend to be a little more trigger happy, I guess, when say, look, I think it's a bold idea, let's just do it. It did require, I think many of our editors were skeptical about going this far. And certainly, at the first stage, if you had talked about the fact that it might eventually become a television show, etc., they may never have even ventured into it. Because, it seems too much like marketing.
So you didn't tell them
it
will be a reality show?
No, we didn't even know it would be, actually. We didn't even know. We had in mind that our own news channel called Times Now might do something. But it just grew so big. Yeah? It just grew so big. I mean, frankly, we had expected maybe 2,000 or 3,000 responses at most. We got 35,000 responses. We said, wow, this is it was beyond all expectations. We didn't actually go to Mr. Bachchan for this film. I mean, we had actually gone to him just to give a soundbite to our TV crew. And this was actually the words of a launch press ad. When he read that it was more just to give him a sense of what this program is about. He said, wow, these are brilliant words. I'd love to say them for you.
Who was writing the copy for this?
This is a copywriter in JWT.
But is it a journalist or?
No, the ad, that was an ad. The one that Mr. Bachchan read out. That was ad copy. So that was an ad we had done.
But it sounded like political manifesto. So it was written by the ad agency?
Yeah, this particular one was, yes. Of course, there was brilliant editorial copy as well, which was sort of the accompanying article and so on. But as it happens, the words of what you saw was the ad by JWT. So I'm just saying that when people like him came along, other people wanted to support this campaign, That's when it grew to a stage when we said, okay, why don't we go to Star Television, which is Murdoch's television venture in News Corp's venture in India, which is the largest. And they said, yes, we'd love to partner this. So it was really their show. They paid all the production costs, etc. It's just that we were supporting it in our press meet.
And what about, for example, I don't know, old politicians, because there was a president and the others, were not they a little bit afraid that you are, promoting the competitors?
You became a party?
No, that we've tried to ensure that we had no, throughout this campaign, there was no hint even of the fact that we had a political ideology of our own, or Lead India had a political ideology. We just said that we need better quality of leaders. We need people without criminal records. We need people without, who are educated. I mean, if the American Senate can have so many people from Harvard and Yale and such like, why can't we talk about our IITs and IIMs as great institutions? Why can't we have a smattering of those kind of people coming into politics? So it was based on the ideal that we want the best and brightest who come and do great jobs at Wall Street.
So you were not judging the, political, views during this contest, but just...
No, we were judging political views only for how well-formed they were. We were not judging the quality of that view. For example, if somebody said he had a leaning towards, let's say, a particular party, it was, we had a apolitical jury that merely tested him for the robustness of his views. Was he able to stick through with what he said? But by and large, we had chosen people who didn't have clear political alignments yet. They were merely concerned about the welfare of the country. But of course, as thinking, intelligent people, they did have views that were more like, let's say, the Congress or another party called the BJP, for example. But that was not a factor in our mind.
Okay. Excuse me, maybe you have some questions and you would like to ask something, Mr. Rahul. Yeah? You would like to ask, no? Yes, there are questions.
Your newspaper is English-speaking newspaper, yes?
Yes.
So it's focused to a certain category of people in India. What about participation of the rest of the population?
Actually, the truth of the matter is that the English newspaper, English readers constitute barely 2 or 3%, the top 2-3% of India. And of that, our readers may be 0.5% or something. So in reality, this was, I mean, if I may give an honest answer, this was not genuinely seeking to change the political framework of the country. It couldn't possibly have. It's just that, a country's leaders should also come from this top 2%. Because they have the education, the other background and so on, to be leaders. So while they don't necessarily form the electorate, but they form the potential leadership. So the idea was more to invite more of them to take an active part in the country's political leadership rather than withdraw.
Yeah, and other questions? Yeah, there is on the right.
You tried 2 versions of the newspaper, broadsheet and compact. Does it still go this way, or you are completely compact paper nowadays?
No, we are actually a broadsheet paper. The Times of India is a broadsheet paper everywhere. We have launched a second brand called, it's a set of city papers called Mumbai Mirror or Bangalore Mirror or Pune Mirror. That's a tabloid. Not just compact, it's like trying to be a sort of a tabloid, not all the way of a Sun or a News of the World, but sort of a tabloid with lighter news, with more gossip and so on.